Well, I'm going to dish out some life advice today. I know you didn't ask for it, but I just thought, why the hell not? I've got this platform. I am usually Diary of a Support Worker, but today I've got my life advice hat on. So buckle up and listen to me waffle on for several minutes. Well, I'm 55 years old, and the life advice is basically the regrets that I have from my youth. So I think I'll start with stop worrying about what other people think of you. Like, actually, no one really thinks much about you at all, really, if you think about it. And we worry and we stress, especially when we're young, so stressed out about how we look and how we act. And look, at 18, you care about what everyone thinks. At 40, you're not so worried. You're sort of, a bit more chill about it. And at 55, you don't give a flying hoot about what people think of you. And it's wonderful. It's I can't even describe it. It's life-changing, not caring about what people think. And I wish I was this way inclined when I was 20 years old. But, stop worrying about what other people think and trying to people please. It gets you nowhere. All it does is make you miserable, and usually the person you're trying to please, well, keep trying because they're probably not pleased anyway. And other people's opinions, they don't matter. Really, do they? And just imagine if we took everyone's opinion on board, where would we be? Possibly nowhere. And think about all the opinions you did take on board. You could be somewhere fabulous. Look, I wanted to be a newsreader when I was a wee small child of about 5. And I had this awful little girl sitting next to me. And when the teacher asked us all what we wanted to do when we grew up, I said I wanted to be a newsreader because there was a newsreader on Channel 10 who was a woman, which was, she was groundbreaking. And Channel 10 News, Katrina Lee, I feel. I used to insist that we watch Channel 10 News when I was in primary school or early high school because I wanted to watch the lady newsreader. Anyway, the little girl next to me said, "You're too ugly and you're too dumb." And that stayed with me. It stayed with me. Anyway, I ended up working in the media for a while, for 10 years actually, but behind the scenes at a newspaper. So I didn't become a newsreader. My voice is terrible. I'm not very good at reading out loud, but anyway, that's beside the point. But if we listen to people and let them affect us, it stays with us and it sucks. And young people, please stop spending your money on stupid stuff you don't need, the latest gadget, whatever. Quite often you just don't need it. You can live without it quite easily and save that money. Save that money and invest it. I'm not going to give financial advice, but I think investing these days is a very good way to save money, maybe even instead of buying a house, because there's hardly a house to buy, is there? And they're too expensive. So maybe investing might be a better option, but this is not financial advice, by the way. It's so hot in here, my God. I don't know whether you can hear it, but the cicadas are going hammer and tongs outside. It's so loud, but I think this microphone might not pick it up. And young people also. I wish the media and the governments didn't bang on about climate crisis so much. I know it's a bad thing. I know it's going to change our lives. But as humans, we've gone through many catastrophes before and we've gotten through it. And I can't see why we can't adapt to climate change. And I think people need to simmer down and not worry about it so much that you're not going to have children and things like that. I think it's unfair that the media and governments put this on our young people. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And you know what? At the last minute, there could be a new invention or something that may solve the crisis. And is it as bad as they actually say? We don't really know. But I worry for my children, but at the same time, I think we need to get on with our lives and do the best we can. And if it happens, it happens, and we'll deal with it. Or my children or my grandchildren will deal with it as people have in the past with major catastrophes. And learn how to cook instead of getting Uber Eats all the time. There's a lot of money down the toilet. Just learn how to cook basic things. There's so many recipes and what have you online on all the platforms. Really easy recipes. Just learn how to cook so you're not eating takeaway so much and over-processed food, which is so bad for you. And those energy drinks, please do not drink those energy drinks. They're awful. They're awful for you. I'm sure they're not doing your brain cells any good, just like other substances. And do you need special pronouns to get along in this world? Do you need to be so hurt? Everyone's so hurt at the slightest little thing that is said these days. It really is ridiculous. People just need to build a bridge and move on. If someone says something you don't like, don't fall to pieces. Just move on. Just tell them where to go. Move on if you don't like it. And another thing, stop being a victim. So many people live in this victimhood, and it seems to be generational. So if your parents were victims and now you're a victim, well, your children are going to be victims of humanity and society and culturally. You need to build yourselves up so that your children can be built up to withstand all sorts of things. And victimhood is one way to bring them down. So I think that needs to stop for humanity's sake. Well, that's just a few little tidbits from Julie Unruly, and I know it wasn't about support work, but I don't want to always talk about support work. And I'll come up with more life advice down the track when I think of it. Now, please subscribe to my channel and like and comment, because that's what you say on YouTube, isn't it? So, yes, please follow me. And I hope to be back next week with more tidbits on something. I don't know yet. I'll come up with something. Anyway, toodles.